Hi everybody, thank you for joining me again today. Today, our family devotion is called Saved Just in Time. And let me ask you a question. How have you been filling your time in lockdown? We've had a lot more time at home, maybe with family. What have you been up to? How have you been filling your time? Steph and I, well, we've been enjoying watching some movies together each week. And I wonder, do you have a favourite movie or a favourite film to watch with your family? When it comes to Disney Pixar, well, Steph and I are both big fans of this one, Finding Nemo. And so we decided a few weeks ago that we would watch Finding Nemo together because we haven't seen it in a long time. There's a moment near the start of the film that I want to tell you about today as we come to our Bible passage. But just in case you don't know already, let me fill you in. Nemo and his dad, Marlin, well, they're both clownfish. And towards the start of the movie, Marlin's chatting with some of the other parents as he drops Nemo off to his first day at school. And when they realize that he's a clownfish, well, they ask him to tell a joke. Let's see how that goes.
Excuse me, is this where we meet his teacher?
Well, look who's out of the anemone.
Yes, shocking, I know.
Marty, right?
Marlin.
Bob.
Ted.
Bill, hey, you're a clownfish. You're funny, right? Hey, tell us a joke.
Well, actually, that's a common misconception. Clownfish are no funnier than any other fish.
Ah, come on, Cloudy.
Yeah, do something funny.
Well, all right, I know one joke. There's a mollusk, see, and he walks up to a sea. Well, he doesn't walk up, he swims up. Well, actually, the mollusk isn't moving. He's in one place, and then the sea cucumber, well, I'm mixed up. There was a mollusk and a sea cucumber. None of them were walking, so forget that I said
Sheldon,
that.
get out of Mr. Johansson's yard now! All right, you kid. Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
You know, since Marlin was a clownfish, well, they expected him to be able to tell a funny joke. But as you saw in that little clip, his joke, well, didn't go very well. What does that have to do with our Bible passage for today, though? Well, everyone who watched Jesus on the cross would have known what he said about himself. Jesus had made it clear that he was the Son of God, the promised Messiah. He was the one who'd come to save. So one of the criminals on a cross beside Jesus has a question for him. Luke chapter 23, verses 39 to 43 says this. One of the criminals began to shout insults at Jesus. Aren't you the Christ? Then save yourself and save us too. But the other criminal stopped him. He said, you should fear God. You're getting the same punishment as he is. We are punished justly. We should die. But this man has done nothing wrong. Then this criminal said to Jesus, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And Jesus said to him, listen, what I say is true. Today you will be with me in paradise. Jesus is on the cross. All those standing around, well, they couldn't understand how it was possible that Jesus was dying like this. If he really was God's promised king, well, then why was this happening? So we see one of the criminals beside him ask this question. He says, if you are who you say you are, then why don't you save yourself and save us as well? To be fair, it's not a terrible question. Maybe sometimes you wonder the same thing. If Jesus really is the Son of God, well then, why is he hanging on a cross? Well, let me use this scene to try and explain. On either side of Jesus on the cross were two other criminals. The fact that they were facing the same punishment means that they must have been two of the worst people around. They'd made a mess of their lives. They'd done terrible things. Some of their sins are the same as ours, though. They'd failed to obey God, and they'd been selfish. They'd thought about themselves more than others. They were sinners just like us, and they deserved their punishment. Jesus was innocent, though. He hadn't done anything wrong. He had loved God every moment of every day. Jesus' life, well, it wasn't like ours. So why was he on the cross? Well, we see why as Jesus speaks to the other criminal beside him. The other criminal, well, he realized that he had messed up. He realized his sin, and he realized that Jesus was the Savior, the one who could help him. And so he asked Jesus to remember him, and Jesus responds by saying this. He says, "Today you will be with me in paradise." What amazing news. You see, Jesus took the criminal's punishment for every one of his sins whenever he died. And the good news for us is that Jesus takes anyone else's sin whenever they put their trust in him and in his death as well. On the cross, Jesus gave his perfect life to the criminal so that the criminal could know everlasting life and forgiveness. Jesus, the Son of God, was on the cross because he was taking our place. He was going to take the punishment for our sin so that we could be saved.